Here we go.
Well, I, pal.
Here we go.
PBKC is your entertainment destination for poker, table games, OTV, Paddock live events, and exceptional eats. The Paddock restaurant is perfect for meetings, corporate functions, parties, fundraising, and more. Call 561-683-2222 extension 199 and book your next event today. Feast in Football is back in the Paddock. Get ready for touchdowns and tasty bites every football Sunday during the regular season. Enjoy a $25 all-you-can-eat buffet plus one draft beer, or get it free when you place a $25 or more live bet on the Hard Rock Bet app at PBKC. Featuring 140 HD TVs, 3 giant screens, and a full bar. Bring your crew, place your bets, and pile your plate high. This is how Sundays were meant to be.
You know what it is. It's Wednesday morning. It's 10 a.m. It's time for PBKC Picks. My name is Mike Jameson. Behind me, Noah Carbone.
How you doing?
Next to him, Earnest Christian.
Hi.
Right here, currently invisible, is Pat Rooney. He'll be here
How you
in a
doing?
second. He's going to be
You
here.
know, at a certain level, you could do whatever you want.
No, you do whatever you want.
do whatever you want.
We
so.
can't today. Guess who's back in the producer booth?
Yeah, Jake's here today.
Yeah,
so
Jake's here.
Pat might get yelled at when he gets here by Jake.
We're hoping so. We'd like
He's
to
on
see
fire
that.
today, Red Light.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll just do it as a skit. Just try it out and let's see how that goes.
Yeah, and then Sully
like,
will take
no,
over.
no.
Yeah, then Sully can produce the rest of the show.
Hey,
So-
Look who showed up.
All right,
Look who showed up.
you just got saved, Jake. Jake, sometimes things are more important than the show, Jake. You have
I
to
just flew in
understand
from
that.
Ireland, guys.
Hey.
On a side
Just
from
came
Ireland.
back
Here he's
from
back.
Ireland.
Top of the morning to you, Pat.
Top of the morning. Top of the morning.
Time for the morning.
How's your flight?
It's rough.
So
Windy.
we're here for PBKC Picks, but the first thing we're going to talk about is Feast in Football. If you didn't know about Feast in Football, you are really missing out. It's in the Paddock every football Sunday up until January 4th, $25 per person, and you can get that buffet free with a $25 or more bet placed day of at PBKC with the Hard Rock Bet app. On the menu again this week, Italian hoagie bites, garden salad, chicken franchise, chicken wings, pretzel sticks, penne alla vodka, meatballs marinara, olive and cheese trays, spinach and artichoke dip, and assorted desserts. And for that $25 buffet, you also get a free beer. You can't beat that. The best deal in town every football Sunday starting at 11:30. It's in the Paddock for Feast and Football. And now, how you doing today, Pat?
I'm doing good. After listening to that menu, do we give out some kind of cardiologist referral or
We
something
do.
after that?
Olives.
Woo!
Yeah, we have somebody
That'll
on
put you
standby
over.
every
Jeez,
Sunday
man.
in the Paddock. But we got to talk about our Pick'em contest. Last week's winner was actually Shane Johnson. So congrats to Shane Johnson. The actual winner
Tough
who
week.
had the most wins was Tim. And Tim doesn't work here anymore.
No, he's
He
probably
retired.
at home all week long
He's
studying
on-
these picks, so he has a
Yeah.
distinct advantage.
Yeah, so we're going to give it to Shane Johnson because Shane Johnson was actually in second place. I believe this might be this is the leaderboard for the entire season, but Shane had 11 wins last week. He tied with Michael Lepchinsky. I'm probably just butchering his name, but
You did, you
Shane
did.
has more wins on the season, so we're going to give the win to Shane. So congratulations to Shane. Tim, again, had 13 wins last week. I think he's in Alaska right now, probably looking at his picks as we're speaking.
Yeah.
Oh, he's watching.
Oh, he is, for sure. But shout out to Tim, one of our great former employees who's retired now and enjoying his retired life. But Shane Johnson, I'll be contacting you after the show. And the best part about this contest, we talk about it every single week, is the simple fact that just get in your picks every week because all you have to do is win one week, and then you're entered for that cool poker tournament at the end of the season that we're going to pick randomly when the season is through. So get your picks in each and every week. If you miss a week, who cares? Get them in the next week. Pick them on CBS Sportsline. If you haven't signed up yet, you can still do that also. Now let's get into the NFL news, the stuff we want to talk about. I'm going to start the show again with the injury report because there's so many of them. So one of the big ones, we'll talk about some of the bigger ones later, but Lamar Jackson is unlikely to play this week. So that's a big injury. Jaden Daniels is still hurt. J.J. McCarthy's still hurt. Obviously, Burrow's out for at least the next 2 or 3 games or more. Brock Purdy also has a hurt toe. Jaylen Warren of the Steelers, he was a late scratch right before the Ireland game on Sunday morning. A lot of fantasy football people were not happy about that. Aaron Jones Sr. is on the IR. Tyrone Tracy for the Giants, he's still hurt. Tyjae Spears, he's about to come off the IR soon. But some of the big ones that we need to talk about, the biggest one that has to do with us here in South Florida is the loss of the Cheetah. Tyreek Hill is now out for the season. What are we looking at for his future and his career as somebody that has so much relied on his speed in his entire career? What do you think, Pat?
Well, I mean, it's all speculation and conjecture and everything else, but I would imagine this might be the end of Tyreek's career. I mean, that injury, it wasn't just like a torn ACL. I think he, from what I've read, he might have done some nerve damage in there to his knee. And if you get to that level and you rely, like you're saying, Mike, so much on your speed, that's generally going to end it for you. So it's a real shame for a guy like that who, it was not a high draft pick or anything like that, and really used that speed to make himself one of the premier wide receivers in the league. I think from a Dolphins standpoint, and I'm stealing this from Evan Cohen, who I was watching earlier on Unsportsmanlike, it's really not per se as devastating an injury to the Dolphins because they're probably just going to be a mid to average team at best this year. But what they were trying to use Tyreek for was trade bait. So whatever that was going to accomplish, they're not getting anything, obviously, out of that now. Yeah. So that's the biggest impact, I think, from the Dolphins' standpoint, more so than what he was going to bring on field, was that what he potentially would have brought off the field in a trade. So it's a shame, though, for him personally, and you never want to see anybody career end with an injury. But I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I think that's, for a guy that relies on his speed, that's the kind of thing that will kill your speed, is not being able to use your knee. So I would imagine this is probably it for him.
Well, what's clear is his Dolphins career is over. That's out of the question. So when he comes back to play football next year or the year after, they're saying a timetable is still to come back next year at some point. But again, you talk about nerve damage. That's a game changer. And to boot, he's 30, 31 years old. So he's not that he's old, but in NFL years, that's a timing.
It's getting there.
That's a bad weird tier there at age to get an injury like this. So I think at the very least he will not be the same guy going forward.
Yeah, I looked at this from a different angle. If anybody saw the video, he gets on the cart and he has a smile from ear to ear, and he's like waving to everybody, and it was a little bizarre. It didn't seem like there was like, oh man, I'm done or whatever. And maybe he has a next level acceptance where he has, he's stoic and he's like, all right, life goes on, I'll be fine or whatever. But he stands to lose this year. He stands to lose $17 million based on the way his contract's drawn up. So that's pretty big, and that's going to affect the South Florida economy with all the child support payments that are going to be reduced based on what he does down here.
Wow.
So,
He's very prolific on and
going
off
there.
field.
So buckle up, South Florida, because there's going to be a change. Buckle up. That's $17 million not directly injected into the economy.
Yeah. I looked at that and I said the same thing. So, the Dolphins did get their first win. They did beat a Jets team that hasn't won yet. Do the Dolphins have any hope now for the season, Pat?
No, and I actually didn't think they did with Tariq anyway. I just don't know what's going on with this team. They're one. Again, we've talked about this a lot. There's a couple teams now, really, maybe you throw Kansas City back in there, but Buffalo and the Eagles are the top of the heap. Then you got New Orleans and Tennessee there at the bottom. All these other teams, all of them, can win or lose each week, and you wouldn't be shocked. You just would not be surprised. The Dolphins, I thought, would be more on that, closer to the above-average line, but then now I think they're just one of those teams that they're probably going to lose more than they win. They'll throw a shocker in there. They might be Buffalo or something like that, and you're just like, oh, my God, what happened? But they're going to be probably a 4-13 team. And I think they probably would have maybe only been a couple games better than that with Tyreek anyway. So I just don't – something's going on with them. Maybe they need new coaching, whatever. But that team should be better than they are.
Should I revisit my take from last week when I giving Dolphins a chance?
No.
No. They're done. Because I don't trust Tua. Like, you still have Jalen Waddle, who's being paid as number one receiver, but doesn't play like a number one receiver. Look, Darren Waller played great in his first game as Dolphin on Monday, but again, that's can he stay healthy? I don't know. They're really done. Like, the schedule gets softer the next couple of weeks for them, so there's an opportunity in a weak AFC to make some ground. But do I trust them to do it? Hell no.
They got problems on both sides of the ball. And you can look at McDaniel, and that's the whole problem to it. But on the defensive side,
oh God,
they're getting gashed on the ground. They let Wilkins go for whatever reason. That guy's still on his couch somewhere. I don't even know what happened there. But there's no – Vic Fangio left there 2 years ago. And he went to the Eagles and obviously turned their defense around to win a Super Bowl. There's no discipline, but he says a lot. He says whatever he thinks, that guy Vic. And he felt that there was no discipline or no structure and there's no leadership, and that's a huge problem. I said it last week on a show. I don't know how you get Mike McDaniel to lead the pack and get everybody fired up. You could get wins. The guy in Detroit, he gets wins just based on talking about biting kneecaps and getting everybody fired up. That's not going to happen in Miami. You could forget that. He's going to try to scheme them back in there, and it's not going to happen.
The Dolphins are giving up 5 yards to carry this year. That's
wild.
That's egregious.
So, talking more NFL news, rookie quarterback Jackson Dart led the Giants to an upset victory over the Chargers in his first career start, but he lost his best wide receiver. Malik Neighbors is done for the season.
Injury.
That's turf.
Were you shocked when the Giants beat the Chargers back?
No. Again, I'm going to go back to my theory. Any team can beat any other team, with the exception probably of somebody like Giants beating the Eagles, although that could happen just because of the division stuff. But in actuality, no, I'm telling you guys, how does Atlanta lose the first game? I can't even remember who they play. They lose the first game badly. Then they go into Minnesota, who just looked good the week before beating the Bears, and basically shut them out. And then they go into Carolina or somebody, and then they get shut out. That's how wacky. That's why I am not betting anymore. We'll go through. I'll give you my picks and all that. I am not going on the record anymore. You have to be out of your mind to go on the record betting any of these games, because you would absolutely be ready to jump off a cliff, watching some of these things. They're just bizarre. It makes no sense. He's a rookie. He has nothing to base anything on. The Chargers, I think, I've said this, I think are a dark horse to get to the Super Bowl potentially, and they lay that kind of an egg against that team. But again, are you really shocked with the way the NFL is that happened? I'm not. So it is what it is.
I'm not so sure that the teams are up to speed yet, too. So if you remember, last year the Eagles were 2-2, and then they caught the momentum. And the Bills and the Eagles are 4-0, and other teams are still trying to find a rhythm. I think the next few weeks is when you start to find that pattern.
Yes.
The Eagles haven't even put together two halves yet. They're playing one half, take the second half off, playing the second half, taking the first half off, and not putting it together. More film. I think more film starts to separate everybody from each other. I think he could get away with more stuff with some trickery and some other things early on, and not knowing tendencies of new quarterbacks. And Dart's first start, he has tendencies. Maybe we don't know enough about those or how he's going to look in that offense, and it went okay for them. So I think as the film gets put on tape, I think we're going to know more about a lot of teams.
Quite frankly, no team has run away with it. Like you said, Philadelphia, you're correct. Yeah. Buffalo, too, is including that. They haven't put together a 60-minute game yet this year. No. So no one's really run away with it yet. I think, to your point, these next 4 weeks are going to be a better telltale where we're at as a league. But it's great. As for Dart, though, it was a solid start. What you saw there, look, he didn't throw the ball much, but he can move around the pocket. He's fairly accurate. And what I saw with the Giants on Sunday was that he gave that team much-needed energy, which also the defense responded to, which shut down Herbert in that Chargers team, who I think is really, really good. So, look, is this sustainable going forward? I don't know. I will have a hot take here with this one, though. I think that Neighbors injury might have saved Daboll's job, because it gives him a built-in excuse. If Dart is – because the priority for the Giants now is not making the playoffs anymore. The priority for the Giants now is developing Jackson Dart. If he can develop without Neighbors being there, I think Daboll will get an extra year.
So are you in on this guy? You think he's the guy?
I like him. I don't know. He was solid in Ole Miss. I like him at Ole Miss.
Okay.
Is he the guy? We need 2-3 years to find out.
We'll see.
Okay, in other NFL news, the Eagles sent a message to the league with a decisive win, highlighted by a fake tush push.
That was great.
You titled this wrong, decisive. Pat, you go ahead and speak on this one first. I don't know what game you watched,
They
Mike.
still remain undefeated at 4-0.
I mean, I didn't see a large portion of this game, but they were up 26-7 or something at one point.
Correct.
And then,
Yeah.
But again, that is the way this wacky NFL is. You sort of tune out. You're like, oh, that game's over. And then all of a sudden you come back and they're like, wait a minute, where's Tampa coming from? Like, they were out of this game. So I'd put more stock in the fact that they won the game. I don't care that they almost blew it or whatever. The Bucs have been one of those teams that give the Eagles a lot of fits, especially in Tampa. So I think that's a demon that the Eagles exercise to some extent. And just what you're saying, though, Noah, for the good teams, the quote-unquote good teams, to get through this part of the season with a winning record is huge, because they will start to roll here at some point. They're still good. The Eagles will still lose probably some game they shouldn't lose down the road, but for the most part,
Giants.
they'll start rolling. They'll get everything together, and I think the same thing with Buffalo. But that's just the way the NFL is, that you really can't. The Steelers game was the same way. That was 24-6. There was absolutely no reason for the Vikings to get back in that game, and they did. And it was with like 6 minutes to go in the game, all of a sudden some light switched on with them. So from an NFL product standpoint, it's probably exactly what they want. You can't leave these games. You just can't. You don't know what's going to happen.
To me, this makes them even more scarier, because at some point they will figure it out. They will figure it out. So to me, the Eagles are, like, I know people talk about Detroit last 3 weeks, and they've been dominant last week since that first loss at Green Bay, but it's still Eagles a bust, man. It really is. Did Jalen Hurts not have a completion in the second half?
No, he didn't.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, he took a shot that they said might have
But his thing,
affected him.
but the thing, you're the champs, right?
Yeah.
You're
Champs.
getting everyone's
That's true.
best shot,
World
no matter who
champs.
you play. So
Right.
you got to apply that to also this here. The Eagles are fine. They're 4-0, even while they're struggling.
Yeah.
If I'm a Bronco fan, I'm scared.
Listen, this game went exactly the way I figured. I sat on the show for a year and a half and said Baker Mayfield is a pain in my ass in what he does, and he did absolutely everything to make my life miserable on Sunday. He made every throw and every play. He had a bad interception in the end or whatever, but it was just bizarre. Like, we got guys in double coverage, and the ball sneaks through, and he has 2 70-yard touchdowns within 5 minutes of each other and make me want to rip my hair out.
Yeah.
I want to speak on an etiquette thing for football real quick. All right, so you have a friend who watches football with you, and your team gets up 26-7 or whatever it is, whatever the score is. It is inappropriate to send a text about it's in the bag or we should have went to this game. I'm getting texts saying, I told you we should have went to the game. No, we should have not went to the game, because now look what happens. That's against the rules. If you guys disagree with me, go ahead. But until that thing hits 000, do not send that text.
You want to call out
She
anybody?
went to the game,
Yeah,
though.
Patrick Tiller, he's a Falcons fan.
He's the worst one. Hold on.
He's an Atlanta Falcons fan, and if he should know above anybody, you do not want – what was that score?
28-3.
28-3. You know you can't go down that path. Do not do it. Do not do it.
Yeah, shout out to Tiller. He's one of our poker dealers.
It's a kiss.
No shout out to Tiller. Just shout at Tiller. Just shout at him.
He's a thorn in Earnest and Noah's side. That's why I'm a fan.
The worst.
Now we're going to talk about the Lamar Jackson. He suffered a hamstring injury. He's not supposed to play this week. Are the Ravens just done, Pat?
No, I mean, they started slow last year, too, and then got it started. Now, this does concern me. All these other injuries, to wide receivers, running backs, whoever, they can be consequential, but nothing matches when you lose your quarterback. Ask the Cincinnati Bengals. If you lose your quarterback, I've said this, we've said all agreed, most important position in sports is the quarterback, and you've got to get a good one. They have a good one. He's hurt. I don't even know who their backup is. It doesn't
Cooper
matter.
Rush.
Yeah. Cooper Rush. Oh, good Lord. It doesn't matter. You cannot function the way you think you can function unless you have the 2000 Ravens defense or the 85 Bear defense. You can't get by with Cooper Rush being your quarterback. So they need to get Lamar healthy again. They'll survive for a couple games, but they can't afford to go like 1-5 or 1-6. That would be crushing. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll figure out a way to get it rolling here again. They just have too much talent, and I know they've lost a bunch of other guys too. So it's not just Lamar. They definitely have the injury bug this year, and it will get concerning pretty soon. I mean, Detroit fought through that on defense last year as long as they could, and then it eventually bit them in the butt against Washington. This could happen with Baltimore as well. I don't think they're going in the tank, though, but they got to get Lamar back in the next couple games.
So the rumor is that it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks. So the next 2 games they play the Texans at home and then the Rams at home. Okay, then there's a bye week. Okay, and then Lamar should be back. If the numbers are, if that rumor is true, he'll be back for the third game against the Bears. So then you got the Bears, Dolphins, and Vikings coming up, and the Browns. So their schedule gets a lot easier now. Assuming Lamar's hamstring, assuming that hamstring is becoming an issue in November, you know what I mean? Because those things do linger. I think they're fine because the AFC stinks. The AFC just stinks. The Steelers are 3-1, but they don't look like a good 3-1 team. They have, again, another team that hasn't played a complete game this yet, so they're not running away with the division this yet. So the conference is pretty weak. So I see a scenario where a 8 or 9 win team gets to the playoffs this year. So the Ravens still in this thing, but they got to win this game this week against the Texans.
It's a must win. You put it down.
I won't go as far as a must win, but it would be it'll go a long way though.
Okay.
It'll go a long way.
So you have quarterback injuries, and then you have this quarterback injury, and I've never understood this. You have a Lamar Jackson who a big part of his game is the run, and they even have design runs and these other things, and then your backup can't do any of that. There's no scenario, none of it. So it's going to be a totally different look. Now, have teams recovered from that and done good things? Yeah, they have done that. You could go ahead and Derrick Henry, he's my stardom, and I'll get it early. Like, he's going to get a ton of carries. They're going to lean on him. They're going to try to pound the ball or whatever. But when you take Lamar and all his playmaking ability and you take that off the table, take it off the stat line, you have a totally different looking offense. I don't know what that's going to look like. It's going to be ground and pound. There's going to be 2-3 tight ends, and they're going to try to run the heck out of the ball. But yeah, I don't see it happening. And Lamar again. The big game. We talk about the big game, whether it's the playoffs or against the Chiefs or whatever. Just these games. He has these games when on the biggest stage, and they're somewhere inside everybody. People are either gamers or they're not, and I don't put him in that spot.
Wow. Ouch. That's
I said
harsh,
it.
harsh,
Well,
harsh.
it's not.
I mean, he'll get you to the playoffs, obviously, but it's the big games in January I'm worried about.
And I'll go out. Let me go on a little tirade. And people say, you want Lamar Jackson or you want Jalen Hurts? I don't know. You could decide. Like, if you have a big game, who do you want?
Stop. Lamar, it's still Lamar Jackson. Stop.
How does that make any sense?
Do you think that
how does it make any sense? Explain. Please justify how that makes sense when you have a big game and everything's on the line.
Hey, Pat, can you sell this, please?
Go ahead.
Pat, sell this, please.
Well, my whole thing is Jalen Hurts is perfect for the Eagles system. He is perfect for how they want to run the ball. I think Sirianni and those guys would figure out a different way to use Lamar than the way they use Hurts. And just be as successful. But in terms of overall talent, Lamar has it over Jalen Hurts by a mile. But that doesn't mean that Jalen Hurts is bad or anything like that. He's an excellent player. Lamar is just a generational type player that you're right, Noah, though, until he gets over that hump. I still think he can, but I mean, the clock is ticking with him. There are guys that just get to a certain plateau, and for whatever reason, they can't get beyond that. But from a sheer talent level, he's top 3 guy in the league, in my opinion.
Well, talent gets you so far. I've never thought Tom Brady was overly talented or athletic compared to some of the other guys. So, Dan Marino or Tom Brady, like, okay, Tom Brady was just in a better position. I get it. But Dan Marino, I don't see. I think you could plug Jalen Hurts in that game, and I think he wins that game.
The thing is, we've seen this before. 20 years ago in this spot, 2005, this was Peyton Manning, best quarterback in the league. Didn't win a Super Bowl just yet. Can he win a big game? Right. Same narrative. It's no different. It's no different.
It's definitely different.
It's not different at all.
It's different. Until you do it, it's different.
Well, but Peyton Manning was still recognized as best player in the league, though, in 2005.
So I think we'll all agree.
Tired of this.
Jalen Hurts is just a system quarterback.
Yeah,
I think we're all agreed.
No,
with
Jalen Hurts
that.
is fantastic. Top 5, 6 quarterback in the league, without question. But it's still different.
He's not a system quarterback. Yeah. He just fits exactly what they want to do in Philadelphia perfectly.
He's more Brady than anything else.
I want him traded. I want him traded today to show everybody, shock the world.
You know what? Talk to somebody. The Cowboys and Packers played to a 40-40 tie on Sunday Night Football. Did we watch the game, and how do we feel about it?
Yeah, I didn't watch. I was traveling or something, so I just saw the score, and I'm like, man, I thought the Packers defense was a little bit better than this. We know the Cowboys defense is going to struggle. But with Parsons and everybody, Packers are going to be Super Bowl and all this other stuff. And then the last 2 weeks, they don't look like they're on that level. So I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that a tie probably doesn't drastically hurt the Packers, but you should beat the Cowboys. So that's my perspective of this. Is it's not like these are two evenly matched teams. The Packers should be a lot better than the Cowboys, and so that's really kind of a loss to me for them.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little harsh on this one. To me, the result is a tie. That's a win for the Cowboys. That's a loss to the Packers. I'm sorry. I mean, you're a 6-point favorite in Dallas without CeeDee Lamb. and you move the ball well, and your defense all of a sudden puts up that performance, that's disgusting. All of a sudden, that Packers-Lions game from week 1 seems like eons ago. The Lions have been red hot since then, and then back in first place. So that's a bad tie for the Packers. It was really a loss.
Yeah, week to week, and puts them in that puts Green Bay, throws them in that pile of maybe they're not even good. Who knows? We got to figure it out. So the next 4 games will tell you. But yeah, everybody had Packers. They're the cream and the crop in the NFC, and yeah, they're going to show you that that they can't hold on to give up 40. You're struggling somewhere, and maybe it's an anomaly. I'll have to look at their stats for defense the rest of the year, but you're giving up 40. That's a pretty big deal. And Dak lit it up. He threw it all over, and everybody's back on the Dak train, and he's great or whatever. But this is, you get one of these, and then you get the stinker that comes up next week. So, yeah, both of these teams, just throw them in that pile. Throw them in that pile of who knows. Throw them in there.
I agree.
Yep.
Okay, the Steelers went over to Ireland and defeated the Vikings 24-21, the NFL's first regular season game over in Ireland, improving their record to 3-1. How was the game, Pat?
Yeah.
The game, I mean, from an atmosphere standpoint, I thought it was pretty cool. The stadium, Croke Park, I was there over 25 years ago when the Steelers played an exhibition game against the Bears, and I didn't remember much about it, but it's not NFL quality by any stretch of the imagination. It literally took us 20 minutes when we got into the initial gate, going to our seats. There was a blockage because they had the beer line right when you were trying to go in, and I'm not kidding, those people were not moving. So we were like standing there. I'm like, well, somebody's got to come by and move this because it's a fire hazard, number one, but I need to get to my seat. So from that standpoint, it was not run like an NFL stadium would be run. But the pageantry of it, I think the Irish did a really good job of embracing American football and trying to, give it a proper welcome to the Emerald Isle. I will say this: the crowd, there were a fair. They were somewhat happy, but not like real Steeler fans are. They were like, do we clap at this point? Or they were more interested in getting loaded and drinking.
Hooligans.
No, it wasn't even like they were ready to fight her. They were just like sitting there like,
that's what
somebody gave us free tickets and we're wearing a Frenchy Fuqua jersey, and I'm just like, are you from Pittsburgh? Or so it was definitely an odd crowd from that standpoint. The game itself, here's what I sort of come to this point where I think people play the Steelers, and after the initial excitement of like the Vikings drove down the field on us right off the bat, and we should have had this fumble. They called that back, and then they kicked a field goal. And then we scored, and it's sort of like you could see this like just glaze come over the Vikings team as a whole. It's like, we're bored to death. We're bored playing this team. Like, when's this game going to be over? And all of a sudden it's 24-6, and I'm like, man, we're actually going to win this game easily. And of course we can't do that. We have to go for it in a clear situation to kick a field goal. And then they drive 99 yards, and now it's 24-14, and all of a sudden you got a game. So it was actually pretty cool though. We got unbelievably lucky with the weather. I mean, it was like 65 degrees and sunny and no wind, which is highly unusual in Ireland any time of the year, let alone late September. So the weather couldn't have been better. But the game itself, I'm glad the Steelers won. But it didn't have like a Super Bowl feel or anything like that. It was just sort of like more than an exhibition game. Like it had a little extra oomph to it.
It felt important.
But the crowd was just odd. It was they were into it. Don't get me wrong. They were clapping but it wasn't like the vitriol that you would get if you were in Pittsburgh and some Viking fans were in front of you and you were winning that game. It wouldn't have been like, hey, nice good score there. It would be, hey, F you, get your asses back to Minnesota. Why are you in here? And there was none of that. I mean,
did they
none
get
of
a
that.
skull chant?
The skull.
They tried. There was like a half-ass skull chant at one point. But again, they weren't like into it. So I don't know. It was enjoyable from one standpoint as a 61-year-old guy that dreads going to a lot of sporting events now because I'm afraid for my life. But I didn't have that. I didn't have that fear in that atmosphere at all. And after the game, people are walking out. They got their Vikings jerseys. There wasn't any like, hey, like there always is in the U.S. There's always like, if you're wearing the other team's jersey and you lost, you were going to get it. There was none of that. It's like, let's go to the pub. Like here's a bar right here. Let's go. So I don't know. I mean, if they were true fans, I give them a lot of credit for behaving very well. But
Maybe they traveled. I don't know.
I think
No true fan behaves well, and I know that.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause you're one of them.
Yeah, I'm Philly. Like,
yeah, I was surprised at the
out of
camaraderie of it.
line. Yeah, you have to be out of line. I guess one guy who didn't have a good, like the hooligans got him was Skylar Thompson. Something I catch the headline. I'm like, what happened? What was he wearing? Like, and that's a big dude. He's 6'3".
I'll say this, Noah.
Yeah.
If you can get your watch stolen and your chain and but if your shoes are taken, something else is happening there.
Yeah.
You're completely passed out at that point or something. I
don't know. Yeah,
if someone takes your shoes, then
So that's what happened.
like
That's the shoes
bad.
for real.
Yeah. Wow.
Unbelievable.
So
Unbelievable.
it's hard. It's hard. It's literally hard to get somebody's shoes. It's tough.
Yeah,
like
it's
That's
tough.
how I'm drunk. You pass
know.
out, take his shoes, go
Yeah.
away. Yeah.
or the Crocs or flip flops. Like, what happened? Like, you can't let that happen. So yeah, my stock is a little bit down on Skyler for getting robbed of his shoes out there. So I don't know if he's serviceable anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he's a starting quarterback for that. No way. But congratulations to the Steelers and all their fans that traveled to Ireland for that big win. One of the things that it's not totally football related, but we're going to talk about it just for the heck of it, is they announced the halftime for the big game. And the name of the halftime performer, I'm a fan. I don't know a lot about him. Is Bad Bunny.
He's
Wait,
huge.
I thought
He's huge.
first off, I thought Bad Bunny was a girl. Literally,
Really?
like I don't follow it that closely. And then I thought it was that girl that went famous after being on that talk show. I thought she was it. She's something Bunny.
Oh, that's
I don't
Bad Baby.
know. Okay, that's Bad
That's
Baby.
the one
Bad
from
Baby.
here.
Bad
You see,
Bunny,
Mike's plugged into
this
the
guy,
culture here.
Yeah, and
That's
job.
That was the
I
Catch
don't
Me
know.
Outside girl.
I
Yeah.
think my wife's into this guy now or whatever. I don't know
she
what's
is?
going on. I guess. I mean,
cool.
he must have
He's
taken off
huge.
pretty quick.
By the way, Bad Bunny, great wrestler too.
Oh, he
Great
is.
wrestler.
That is
he
true.
did a run for a couple months in WWE 2 years ago. It was
Pat,
fantastic.
name one Bad Bunny song, please. One. Give me one.
I
Couldn't tell you either.
Yeah,
I'll give you a Bugs Bunny song, but I can't give you a Bad
like
Bunny.
this
We're
is
showing our
weird.
age.
There's so many talented people out
Well,
there. That,
here's what I heard. I heard they were in discussion with Taylor Swift.
okay.
How much is the NFL worth? I'm guessing it's probably close to $1 trillion
Pay it.
business.
Pay it.
Why didn't you get her this year?
Pay it.
Like,
But
why didn't you just whatever
Pay
her
it.
demand? It's
500
like,
million.
But Pat,
it's like
aren't-
we can't come to her demand. I'm like, well, yes,
500
you can.
million, pay it.
But Pat, isn't the protocol now that the artists have to pay for the performance though?
In the
Not
old
her. Not her.
in the old days, you didn't get paid at all. Like
Right.
it was just the exposure. But they said they couldn't come to an agreement with her. Well, I'm assuming it was money. So what is? I don't care if you're setting a bad precedent or whatever. She's
Right.
literally the face of the NFL right now. That you're attracting a bunch of young women that normally would never watch football.
That would've went
Could you
berserk.
imagine what they would have done at a halftime
Nobody
show
would
with
even
her?
watch the game. Like
She's
everybody,
probably-
like, oh,
Just so
Taylor
stupid.
Swift's on Sunday. Like that's
she's
what,
probably touring. Because she's new album's out.
Doesn't
tomorrow.
matter.
New album's out on Friday.
Cancel.
She's probably touring. I don't know. Like I'm not mad about it. That money's huge for the record. I'm not a fan of his personally, but he's huge.
No, he's not
worldwide.
that- he's
He-
not
no,
that-
no, bro,
he's
bro.
not-
No, dude. Noah, look at the
I
numbers.
know
Numbers.
what
I'm
you're
telling
saying,
you.
but our demographic, the demographic that sits here, myself, Pat, Mike dabbles in it, maybe Jake. I don't know. Does anybody a Bad Bunny like?
No, I know him more for wrestling more than anything else, honestly.
Yeah.
So no,
Aerosmith. I
right.
like put Aerosmith.
They were there,
on it, like-
but Steven Tyler's done though, bros. We can't sing anymore. No, I'm more pissed off because of the fact that I want a live band. And number two, Metallica's sitting right there. Metallica, number one, it's in San Francisco. That's the home base. Number two, it's on their 45-year anniversary. Now, I'm not trying to be biased because my favorite band in the whole world, but that was set perfect for Metallica
One
to do that
song,
spot.
Mike. One song. Give me one song.
Didn't he sing Despacito?
No, that's not him. That's not him.
What the?
Okay, I'm wrong.
This
then.
is
I have no
ridiculous.
idea.
Like it doesn't.
No,
make,
but
No,
I'm
we
happy, though.
sound old though, honestly
We
though.
do.
But dude, Bad Bunny is huge.
He's huge.
I'm,
He is.
I'm hip. I'm in
No,
there
I
with
don't
in the
know.
trenches with the kids. Like
I
we
don't
talk
know with the
about it.
kids, yeah.
I'm gonna ask Haley when we get home. Bad Bunny.
Oh, she knows Bad
Okay,
Bunny.
She knows Bad
Well,
Bunny. I mean, I guarantee she knows Bad Bunny. It's one song.
Bad Bunny is
Guarantee
one of
it.
the biggest artists around the entire world.
Yes,
not
he's huge.
just the
He is
United
huge.
States.
It
He's
shocks me.
absolutely
Bad Bunny.
huge.
His brand isn't even his, right? His brand isn't even good. Bad, like think of Bad Money. Like come on.
Yeah, that Bunner says that's what his drill sergeant used
I
to
think,
call him.
honestly,
Bad
I think
Bunny.
it'll be a solid show. I think put on a solid show. Honestly,
No, I'm excited.
You enjoy
No,
that.
I'd much rather, and this is just me being older now.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have Bad Bunny than like some rappers and that kind of stuff, which we've had. Which I think Kendrick Lamar did a great job last year. I think that was a wonderful show. I'd like to see another rock band. I'd like to see some country artists.
what I heard-
I think this was a country year. They should have gone
right. I
something
agree
country.
too. Also, no, I think what this too. Also, I don't know if it's true or not, but what I've heard is that like to put up a stage and tear down a stage for a band that plays live music is a lot longer, and they're limited to time. So bands, they're probably going to tell bands to do playback. Metallica's not doing playback whatsoever. They're not doing playback. Wait.
He's
please.
lobbying for Metallica right now.
No, well, it doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
So.
He is. Let's talk about it for more like 10 minutes more. So
yeah, because
Jake
the
is just going to
losing
blow
his
a gasket
mind
over there the more we talk about Bad Bunny.
Love you, Jake.
Shout out to Rebel Poker. We're going to get to our picks soon, and I'm going to definitely shout you out. Everybody that's checking in on the show right now. And now this is where we're going to get to each and every game for week number 5. We're going to start off with the Thursday night game, and that is going to be San Francisco at the LA Rams. LA Rams are favored by 6.
Well, Purdy, I think, is going to be out again with his toe. I'm just going to go home with this one. I'm going to take the Rams. I think the Rams are actually a really good team. They're in that just below the upper level teams. Don't get me wrong; they could lose this game. Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't surprise me if they're up 28-3 and all of a sudden San Francisco comes back and covers. But I'm going to take the Rams at home.
No, I'm taking Rams here too. Also, I mean, we had a debate 2 weeks ago about second best team in the conference after Philadelphia, and remember Green Bay was my team 2 weeks ago. That's changed now. It might be the Rams. The Rams are a little bit a block field goal from being 4-0. So give me the Rams here to cover.
Yeah, I don't know if San Fran defense could stop the receivers on the Rams. They're kind of annoying. They're open so much, and maybe it's a quarterback putting the ball on them. But that guy Nakua, he's just a gem.
He's
there.
a beast.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Rams.
Yeah, I would have picked San Francisco possibly, but Pearsall looks like he might not play.
Really?
Juwan Jennings.
Oh, they're done.
The fact that he's hurt also, and that Brock Purdy is hurt.
Is Kittle playing? Is he?
He's still hurt. He's still hurt too. So they're going to put everything on the back of Christian McCaffrey in this one. So I got to take the Rams at home. Again, favored by 6. Now we move on to the Sunday games. The early game is Minnesota at Cleveland, where Cleveland is the underdog by 3.5.
I gotta think Minnesota has a get back game or something, whatever you want to call it here. They're going to stay. They've been staying over from
back
London.
To back.
Yeah, they actually wanted the Steelers to do this, and we said no. But Minnesota agreed to do it. I think that they feel like they should have put up a better effort against Pittsburgh. So I'm going to go with Minnesota here. But again, Cleveland beat Cleveland or Green Bay, and who knows if they have any kind of momentum or any kind of feel for what they want to do at this point, but I'm going to take Minnesota.
I'm really curious who's starting quarterback this week for the Vikings, because I think McCarthy could be back this week. He's out. He's definitely out. Wentz has been too bad, though, I'll be honest with you. Dylan Gabriel getting his first start for the Browns. Bad spot there. Give me the Vikings here in a revenge.
Yeah, Cleveland changed his quarterbacks this week, right?
Yep,
They're making that change. So, yeah.
There's your no tape on this guy. Maybe they surprises people and plays really well.
He's not good, though. I'm sorry. He's just not good.
Yeah, I'm Minnesota. They already went over. They lost the game. They're away from home from 2 weeks. That stuff does affect you. You're not home, sleeping in your bed. We've all seen that, how that goes. So I think that's going to wear on them. I'm gonna go with Cleveland at a point.
I'm going with Cleveland also in this one. Now we move on to Houston at Baltimore, where Houston goes in favored by 1.5.
Houston is favored.
Houston is favored.
Well, we know why.
I mean, Cooper Rush is awful, but I'm just going to say at home, Baltimore's got it. Baltimore, I think, realizes they really can't go 1-4. You're starting to get into that territory like Cincinnati had last year, where they got so far behind that even though they started playing good at the end of the year, it wasn't enough. So I'm going to go with Baltimore here. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Houston wins. They're a good team too, but Baltimore really has to kind of win this game. They can't afford to go 1-4.
Yeah, this is tough, man, because, again, Houston's not that good. I mean, they're not good at all. C.J. Stroud has not gotten any better. I know you have no Lamar, so obviously Derrick Henry will be the bell cow this week for the Ravens. And the Ravens' defense has been terrible, too, on top of that. So I don't know, man. This is a stay-away game overall. In fact, bet the under if you want to bet anything. I'll go Baltimore because they need to win more. But it's a stay-away game for me.
Yeah, a few years back, Cooper Rush filled in. I think it was for Dak, and he ripped off 3 games in a row. And he was serviceable. He made the plays he needed to and got things done. I think the scheme is going to fit them. I think they're going to run, a little play action, keep him limited. And it's interesting how you look at the AFC North and you look at Baltimore quarterback injury changes the whole dynamic. Then Cincinnati, obviously, and Cleveland's always a dumpster fire. Houston has a guy, and he's healthy, but he's just not good enough to win games. So it's interesting. When you have the guy, you got to keep him healthy. and if you don't have the guy, you're half competitive. So I mean, now you're looking at C.J. Stroud versus Cooper Rush, and I don't know if you're getting great quarterback play from either guy, but Derrick Henry's going to go for 200 yards, and they're going to win this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Baltimore at home. I'm going to quote my friend Earnest and say this is a must-win for Baltimore.
Big, yeah, must
right here. Yeah. Must win. Now Miami at Carolina. Miami goes in favored by 1.
Yeah, boy, another. I mean, if Miami has any momentum at all, I'm going to take them going into this game. But this could be one of those where Miami wins finally gets off the schneid. They win the game, and then they go into Carolina and look completely awful. Yeah, so that wouldn't surprise me. But I kind of believe Miami too would just have a little bit more talent than Carolina. So I'm going to take Miami, but just like Ernest said, this would be a major stay-away game for me.
Oh, yeah. Like I said last week, the Dolphins' schedule gets a little softer with week AFC. So if there's any opportunity for them to get back in this race, these next 2 weeks, they beat the Jets last week.
In this race.
Check mark there. Atlanta Panthers, look, the AFC's weak, bro. So, again, I'm not saying don't make the playoffs, but if you want any chance of getting back in this thing, you better win this game. So I'll take the Dolphins here because this Carolina stinks, bro. They're bad.
All right. Miami's in the same division as Buffalo, and Buffalo is arguably the second-best team in the NFL, Ernest. So
what's about wild card? Wild card.
Okay.
Wild card.
Whatever you want to call it, you're like, get back in this thing. That thing, they're cooked, like as a kid would say, cooked, fully cooked. They're like, there's no coming back from this. They're not defined. They throw 2 out there, and he shows flashes, and I don't think he's progressing, and he's not getting better as time goes on. There might be this thing where he's not focused on Tyreek, but I don't think he's that quarterback to be able to spread the ball around and do other things. I think Tyreek was his crutch early on, and as Tyreek started to decline, so did Tua. I don't see them winning this game at Carolina. Their defense stinks. Carolina might run for a bunch of yards.
Yeah, I'm thinking this week that Tua is going to rely a lot on the rapper Darren Waller, who had a couple of touchdowns last week. I'm actually going to take Miami on the road here.
He should have actually done the halftime show. Probably would have.
I think maybe we should
kill
talk
2 birds with 1 stone.
Maybe
right?
he'll be a part of it because obviously the Dolphins aren't going to be there. But now we move on to Las Vegas at Indianapolis. Indianapolis is favored by 6.5.
Yeah, I got to go Indianapolis. Vegas has sort of been a disappointment to me, Mike. I'm sorry to say that. I really thought they were, with Gino there and Pete Carroll, I thought they were going to be a little bit more solid this year, and they just seem to have fallen right back into being the Vegas Raiders. So, again, nothing would surprise me, and maybe they have a revival here and put something together, but I'm going to take Indy at home. Indy's one of those, again, shocking teams. Daniel Jones does look like Tom Brady, which is at least he looked like Sam Darnold last year. So I'm going to say he just keeps it rolling and beats Vegas at home.
No, I agree with you on the Raiders take, man, because I was kind of like, what did I say, the Raiders would be frisky this year?
They sure did.
Everything but
pretty much everybody.
Everybody but. No, the Colts. Even losing the Rams on Sunday, I feel good about them, actually. I felt that was a good loss. Like, they lost that game. The Rams didn't win that game. I think they gave away that game. They what was that the touchdown that the kid Mitchell gave away? And I mean, so the Colts, what we know now, right now, 4 weeks in, the Colts are a good team. Are they a super contender? I'm not going to go there just yet, but they're definitely a good team, a playoff contender, all that. I think they'll bounce back in a big way here and they'll blow out Raiders.
Yes.
Raiders not good. They're not good.
So you look at coaching trees, and the Indianapolis Colts came off of the Eagles coaching tree, and he goes over there and he comes up with a structure, and they have an idea of what they're trying to do. And they did it a little bit last year, and now they're doing it more this year. They're balancing their offense. They're throwing it. They're running it. They have a game plan. This is what good football looks like, where you put a thing together. You have a plan. You stick to the plan no matter what. This is your concept, and don't deviate from it. And they're doing that, and I think it's gonna get them over the hump for sure this year. They're gonna win this game, but they're probably, you talk about teams and who's playing consistent football. I know the Eagles and the Bills are 4-0, but the Indy's playing consistent football.
I agree.
And they're playing 4-quarter football, and I think they win this one easy.
I'm taking the upset. I'm taking the Raiders.
You homer.
They should have won last week, okay? They got a field goal block. Max Crosby is still the lead defender. Ashton Genty finally showed what he is made of with the stance thing, where he's able to do his regular stance from college, where like he just stands there and then runs the ball and does well. So I think the Raiders are going to surprise the Colts. And again, the Colts are favored by 6.5 in this game. Now we move on to One of the I can't even lie about
Barn
I was
burner.
going to say one of the better games of the week, but let's just stop lying like that. The Giants at the Saints. The Saints are favored by 2.
Saints are
The
favored.
Saints
by
are favored by
Yeah.
2 at home.
Ooh. I still got to believe the Giants, even though there's tape now on Dart and everything else, and this would be a classic letdown going to some game, city that everybody expects you to win no matter how bad you think the Giants are. And New Orleans probably will win a game at some point, and this might be it, but I got to go with the Giants here. I just Vegas is they're daring you to take New Orleans with that line. They just are. So I would take the Giants.
Take away the Seattle loss 2 weeks ago. The Saints have been competitive week to week. That Bills game was neck and neck to the middle of that fourth quarter. So they played above what we thought they'd be this year. They're not a good team. We get that. But it's got to be a Giants here, really. I mean, the defense woke up last week. I mean, why would you watch this game other than the fact I'm a Giants fan? But, yeah, I'll go Giants this one. But the Saints, they may give some issues in this game because they play for jobs. So
This could be the Saints win. This could be
Yeah.
their one
not shock me.
one win of the year. Neighbors not being there changes the whole dynamic of coverages and safeties and all this other stuff, and that's going to carry a lot of weight. I'm not sold on this running back Scatavo or whatever.
Really?
It's
You don't like him?
He's another. Who was that guy from Cleveland that ran for 1,000,000 yards?
stop.
And then
Peyton
no.
Hillis.
Peyton Hillis.
Yep,
Okay,
that's him.
this is Peyton Hillis 2.0. Write it down. This guy.
Well, he wasn't a bad player. He was just on a crappy team.
Well, he was a good player for 1 year.
just
Like
pissed
he
off.
literally, I think he was out of the year.
He got hurt. I think he got hurt.
He got hurt a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, Scatterbarrow. You look at the post game interview, and he's goofy and he's weird. Like
Here's what I agree with you.
Yeah.
He's not an RB1 to me. He should
Okay.
be. He shouldn't be getting all those carries he's getting right now, but he does because they need him to carry the ball because Trace is out.
yeah, this is New Orleans maybe only win of the season.
Yeah, I think the Giants go in and win this one. I'm expecting a big game from Slayton, who's now the wide receiver 1 for the
Yes,
Giants.
he's always productive.
Now we're going to move on to Dallas at the Jets. Dallas goes in favored by 2.5.
Another game you could absolutely throw a blanket over this one, and I mean, I would probably take the Jets. They're another team. They shouldn't be 0 and whatever they are. They should have won 1 or 2 games. Dallas is just one of those mystery teams that their defense is terrible, and it depends on how good Dak is with, if CeeDee Lamb's out. Pickens actually had a really good game last week, and I think he relishes more the number 1 role than being the number 2 guy. So I think Dallas will probably have a big game here. But the Jets just have to win at some point, so I would take the Jets.
And they might win this week. The Jets have been almost in all these games they played. I mean, Aaron Glenn is what you see in the Jets right now currently is that the record is reflected, but the players do respect them. There is a culture change going on there. They will get a game at some point. It could be this week. But Dak Prescott's having a great year, though. I mean, no one's talking about that right now, but Dak's having a great year. I'll go Dallas this one, but it would not shock me the Jets win this game because this is a game the Cowboys would lose historically just because.
When do we start grading quarterbacks on whether they win games or not? Yeah.
If it wasn't for the middle record, he'd be in MVP conversation right now.
Wow. Okay.
He's been that good this year.
Totally off the rails.
He's been look at his numbers.
We're totally off.
Look at his numbers.
No, great numbers, and now they're 1-2-1 or something, and they screw up all the standings with the tie. The tie, like have that extra column.
I hate that.
And then
I hate the ties. Pat, what about ties? You hate ties too?
Well, I mean, the NFL purposely, I think, made this extra. In the old days, pre-1974, you just tied. That was it.
Yeah.
The Steelers had 4 ties in 1 year, like in the 60s.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah, they were like 4-7-4 or
Oh my
something
God.
crazy.
Like a hockey standing.
So I mean, so the NFL I think wanted to get rid of that. So they have the overtime. 15 minutes, first team to score wins. Fine. Generally, that got away from ties. I think there were like 1% of ties at that point. But now they've shortened it to 10 minutes, which isn't a long time, believe it or not, and they give each team the chance to score. You are going to get more ties doing that. So I think it's anti what the NFL actually wanted to do.
What they should do is after if the one scores, do a field goal off like who hit the field goal.
The most wild part is when at the post game interviews and they talk to the players like, "Yeah, I didn't know." Okay. Here's teams.
I love that one. We didn't know you could tie. I'm
The
like,
first
what
team
planet have you
meeting.
been
Let me
living on?
explain. The coach, the very first team meeting, sit everybody down and explain how overtime works and how a tie works, so everybody knows. It is bizarre when they say they don't know this. I take the Jets. I'm taking the Jets.
Yeah, I'm going to take Dallas on the road. I'm expecting another big game from George Pickens. Here's a question that it's going to upset Noah. Do you think Dak Prescott on the Eagles could lead them to the Super Bowl?
You woke up and chose violence today.
I
like
did.
this
I
is
did. Pat,
like to even ask that question.
Do you put Dak Prescott on the Eagles, or is that a Super Bowl team?
I don't. That's a good question.
Nobody has
asking
an
Pat?
answer.
I want to.
thinking.
I want to lean.
I'm not
yes.
defending this. I said I'm not even going to talk about this ever again. So I don't want to defend it. I don't want to have to defend it.
answer
no.
it. No?
The answer. Never mind. I don't want to.
I think Jalen Hurts is just too special a quarterback.
Thank you.
I mean, I would lean yes, but it's not a strong yes, though.
How do
I'll
we
say
get
that
off
much.
this? If we win a Super Bowl this year, can we be done with this? Can we be fully
Yes.
done with this conversation?
Why are you? No one's insulting Jalen Hurts. We all love Jalen Hurts.
We just like Dak Prescott, too. Now we're moving on to
don't get it.
an interesting game. Denver at
Speaking
the
of.
Eagles. Eagles are only favored by 4 here.
Well, this might be a down game for the Eagles. Denver's one of those odd teams. It's an it's a out of conference game and all this other stuff. Denver doesn't play in Philadelphia a lot. They don't play bad on the road. Sean Payton's got some history. He knows how to deal a little bit with the Eagles when time with the Saints and stuff. So I could not pick against the Eagles. I'm not going to pick against them all year. But if they're going to lose a game that's sort of like, what happened, this might be the game that they do. So I'm going to take the Eagles, but there's definitely some trepidation with that pick.
So I came into the year with the Broncos feeling they're a little overvalued. A lot of Bronco hype comes in the year. And little by little, they're starting to show me, even though
you're wrong.
Even though a 2-2 record is not reflected, they are starting to show me, they're probably a lot better than I realize. That being said, the Eagles are due a big game here. Like these spreads, the 4-point spread, 3.5 against the Rams, and granted, I get it, but the Eagles are due a big game here. And I think this has nothing to do with the Broncos and how they played. I just think the Eagles are due for a 60-minute game, and I think they get this week, and the Eagles win in a runaway.
So you talked about earlier about that thing where everybody's taking a shot at the champs, and as we all know, the Eagles are the champs, right? So everybody comes in. But what happens as you get to week 4, and then you get to week 5, where the champs are just still winning all their games? Eventually, that goes away. We're like, and it turns into, oh crap, we got to go play the champs. So now Denver's going to travel into Philly, and here's what I know. I don't know how they're doing it, and I don't know if I'm getting lucky, but or the Eagles are lucky, or whatever's happening, or if it's a coaching or a team playing together, or witchcraft. I do not know, but what I know is the Eagles haven't lost in a long time. I'm going with Philly here.
It's a good bet.
Yeah, I'm going to take Philly at home.
Oh, and
too.
we are Rebel. We do see your
Rebel.
trolling, and Rebel says my only prediction is for Denver to go over Philly. So we're going to put you on record saying that right now. So yes, we do read the chat, and you are trolling me right now.
You're going to record that. Everybody wants to take a shot at Noah for sure.
I don't know why.
I'm taking the Eagles at home
Make it
again.
easy, buddy.
Only favored by 4 in this one. Now we move on to Tennessee at Arizona. Arizona's at home, favored by 7.5.
Again, I don't think Tennessee's going to lose every game, and this is a perfect scenario. They're on the road. Again, it's a out-of-conference game, and no one expects them to do anything. Arizona will probably be bored out of their mind playing this team, and Arizona's not that good to be bored and still win a game. So I would take Arizona, but this one wouldn't surprise me if Tennessee gives them a game.
I'm the same vibe as you, man. Like, Arizona should win this game, but Tennessee, they're like, after the press conference with Cam Ward and the coach last week, I mean, they're a little pissed off. They stink and all this stuff. I think they'll come out and they'll play a relatively decent game. Now, will they win the game? Probably not, because they're not talented enough. But Zona wins this game. But what's the spread again, you said?
A 7.5.
Give me the Tennessee in the points here. This could be a field goal game, honestly.
Yeah, the NFL should consider going with what they do in like soccer, where like a team is like mediocre, no good, they just kick them out of the league. Like some of these teams, like you get tired of watching them. Like somebody else come up with a team and field a team and see if they could be competitive. Because Tennessee, the same old stuff. Arizona's at mid forever now. The last time they were good, like who I don't even remember. When was it?
They had a good year 4 years ago. I think.
Yeah, like
Larry Fitzgerald.
And it's like mid football, and it's not great. I go with Toddler Murray at home for this one, but not because
Do the finger thing, no.
Not because it's even fun to watch. I'm sure the commissioner at some point sees this one. This stinks.
Yeah, it's not an exciting game we're looking forward to, but I know where you can watch it in the paddock for sure.
You can.
But I'm taking Arizona at home here. Now we move on to Tampa Bay at Seattle. Seattle's favored at home by 3.5.
This is really actually an interesting game. Seattle's been my surprise good team this year. I thought they were going to be terrible. And they're actually very competitive and have played pretty well. Tampa, I thought would be good, and they are. Going on the road, this is cross country and all that kind of stuff. Going to be tough for Tampa to go in there and win. But I'm going Baker Mayfield. He's just tough to go against. And I think if anybody can go that far and do some damage in Seattle, it's him. So I'd take Tampa in this one.
If you had told me before the year started that Week 5, Tampa, Seattle might be the game of the week, I would have said, get out of here, no way. And yet,
I'll still say that.
And yet, it might be the game of the week. Honestly, Seattle. I mean, I know, but I'm still on the fence with Seattle how good they are. But there's something there. Sam Darnold is I called him the other day the Kirk Cousins now in the NFL, where he's actually a really, really good regular season quarterback, but can't get done in the playoffs, but whatever. I think Seattle wins this game at home. I think Tampa's due for another loss here. Seattle's, I don't know, it's weird. Like, you look at them like, how are they 3-1? It's hard to explain that, but they're solid defense. Sam Darnold's playing good football, and they have the pieces. They, as you said with the Colts, also they're playing together. They're consistent. I'll take Seattle this one, man. It's weird.
Yeah, so Tampa had their first 3 games they won on drives at the end of the game or by one score, and then they had this game where they laid an egg in the first half and came back the second half and still came up short. I think they have a letdown. It had to take a lot. They gave everything. They're trying to play the champs. They're trying to. I think they're in their own heads now. How good are we or what's our defining moment? Now they go all the way across the country. It's literally, I think it's, other than Miami, all the way to Seattle. Tampa to Seattle is the longest travel that anybody will have, and they're going over there after really a tough game against Philly. So I'm going to take Seattle. I think Baker's going to maybe try a little too much, and they're going to come up short.
Yeah, like Bunner said, Baker Mayfield is a gamer.
Yeah, hate it.
Yeah, I think they're going to travel to Seattle now that they have Chris Godwin back, and he played last week in the game. Didn't do too much, but now that he's in playing shape and probably got the speed of the game back, I'm taking Tampa Bay on the road here. Again, they're going to Seattle, where Seattle is favored by 3.5. Now we move on to the biggest gap when it comes to the parlay this week. Detroit at Cincinnati. Detroit goes in favored by 10.
Well, I'm taking Detroit. It's a shame for Cincinnati. This really was setting up to be a great game if Burrow was playing, but Jake Brown just isn't Burrow, and Detroit. It still bothers me that they played so poorly in Green Bay that opening week. It's just weird because you think Campbell would have them as fired up and everything, and to lay that kind of an egg. And I mean, they've obviously righted the ship since then, but that's just a weird game for them. So anytime you go on the road, it's tough, and maybe Detroit goes into this and is looking past Cincinnati or whatever. Cincinnati has enough weapons that they could do some damage here, but I can't pick against Detroit in this situation.
Yeah, that game was pretty much a burner tape game, Pat. That Packers game for Week 1, because since then they look like the best team in football the last 3 weeks. Cincinnati, the issue is bigger than Browning at this point now. And to be honest with you, it's actually a blessing Joe Burrow's out, because that offensive line is terrible. That defense is even worse. So honestly, if this season will go off the tracks as it is right now, by the end of December, they could be 2-12, whatever it is. Oh. Why bring Burrow back at that point?
Right.
So yeah, Detroit's on the heater right now, and I'm gonna ride that. Detroit wins in a blowout in Cincinnati.
Yeah, as long as Detroit doesn't get fancy and just runs the ball, pounds the ball, and punishes them, and don't run double reverses and all that wacky stuff. They should just manhandle Cincinnati and win this one easy.
Yeah, I'm looking at a big win from Detroit. Obviously, Browning is not the answer, and they're not even competing right now in Cincinnati. So I'm taking Detroit, again, favored by 10. Now we move on to Washington at the Chargers, where the Chargers are favored by 3.
Chargers got to bounce back. I mean, that was an awful game against the Giants. All teams are going to have down games, though, so I'm going to give them an excuse there. But now you got to prove that you're a good team. And Washington doesn't have many of their weapons, so they're coming into your town, into cross country. Washington's still a decent team, but this is where the Chargers and Harbaugh got to be like, all right, that game was an aberration last week. We're back to being serious contenders in the AFC. So I actually look for the Chargers to win this one handily.
Yeah, Jane Daniels should be ready for this game. McLaurin might be out again for this game. Chargers need a bounce back here. Commanders have, even with Daniels, haven't looked that great, to be honest with you, either. So, as we said before the year started, we expect the regression to the mean for the Commanders. No, I think they'll catch on later in the year. But Chargers, after that loss last week, I think they're seething. They'll come back and win at home.
Yeah, Washington. I don't think he's going to play. You're saying he might.
Daniels?
Yeah.
They're saying that he's trending up towards playing.
Yeah. So even if he does, I think Los Angeles. Again, you're flying across the whole country. You have Herbert. I mean, Herbert's going to be the best. You like to have the best quarterback on the field, and with Daniels banged up, it's even a wider gap. I think Herbert's a better quarterback. I don't know if Washington can stay with them on offense, and I'm going to go with Herbert and Chargers.
Yeah, I think we're all going to agree and take the Chargers again at home, favored by 3. Now the Sunday night game, New England at Buffalo. Buffalo favored by 7.5.
Yeah, maybe New England is as bad as we thought they were going to be. I like Vrabel, and just he realizes what this team is. It's a bunch of young guys. You got a young quarterback. We're going for it on every freaking fourth down that we can go for, and that excites your team. That gets you pumped up. Yeah, you're not going to get all those, and it's going to cost you games maybe at some point. But this isn't a veteran-laden team. These are young guys, and you want to try and keep them excited. So I like the way Vrabel is approaching this season with this team. I don't think they're going to go into Buffalo and win, but I think they'll at least give them a game for a little bit because Vrabel just goes for broke with everything, and that's not the norm in the NFL. And a lot of times teams have difficulty adjusting to that kind of stuff. But Buffalo's too good, so I'm going to take them at home.
This past team is such a week-to-week team for me. I can't get a feel of how good they are. Coming to the year, everybody's like, 8.5 wins. They could be a sneaky playoff team. And then you see week 1 against the Raiders. What the hell is that all about? And then they beat Miami, then they beat Carolina. So this team is kind of strange. Divisional game, Sunday football. Buffalo should win this game, and I think they will. But they don't. Again, they're another team that's great, but does not put together a 60-minute game. So while the Bills win this game, I love the Pats on the points here.
Yeah, you just mentioned it. They got 2 bad wins, Carolina and Miami. I don't know if you want to put that on your resume as like, oh, check us out. We're really crushing teams. Yeah, but Buffalo is that consistent. They got a lot of ways to beat you. They have a lot of ways. They could beat you on running the ball. They could beat you on the arm of Josh Allen. You're at Buffalo. It's Sunday night. They're going to be fired up, and you start to have that feeling of teams that know how to win, and Buffalo is doing that, and I'm going to take Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo at home. I think with the resurgence when they signed him, and now James Cook, arguably is one of the best running backs, at least this season, in the entire NFL. I'm taking Buffalo for a big win at home. And now we move on to the Monday night game, Kansas City at Jacksonville. Kansas City favored by 3.5.
Yep, this could be a really good game. Jacksonville, like Seattle, is one of those teams that's probably better than we thought they were going to be. Maybe coming into their own a little bit. With the quarterback and ATN with the running back for Jacksonville. Went into San Fran, which is not easy. I don't care who's playing or not, to come out of a win in that one, and the coaches getting into fights and stuff like that. So this is a huge game for them. Whoa. Huge if they could somehow win this game. It'd be an absolute statement game for Jacksonville. I'm taking Kansas City.
I love the comparison to Seattle because Zach doesn't go to also. Another team that's like, okay, 3-1, and they got screwed at Bengals loss. They could be 4-0 easily. So this is a team. This is the game, benchmark game. Like if you are a team that was take serious, you have the AFC champions come to your town. You better win that game. So I'll take the Chiefs win this game, but I'm really curious to see if this Jags team is for real. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I still like the Colts in the division personally, but we'll see if the Jags make a statement here.
It would be a little early to get a signature win, first year coach in game number 4 and game number 5 and bringing in the Chiefs and winning that game at home. That would be wild. That would be a story. And then you're starting to talk about, okay, teams you have to worry about moving forward. You add them to Indy and Denver. Again, Patrick Mahomes, unless he's playing against a quarterback who knows how to win better than he does, can usually just win games. I think they're in the game late, and they find a way to win just like they did last year.
Yeah, I'm taking Kansas City also on the road. Again, favored by 3.5, and those were our picks where we analyzed the game for week number 5. Now we're going to move on to fantasy football. We have a nice little league going here with the members of our team.
You beat me, Michael.
I did.
Bad.
So now that I have beaten Noah, I've beaten Jake, our producer, and I've beaten Ernest, I've run the gambit of everybody on the PBKC Picks show.
Good
and
for you.
I didn't beat
Pat,
Ernest.
you're in the league hero too? Also, no.
No, he's
no,
down.
I don't get fantasy football. I hate it.
Honestly, I'm with you. I hate it too.
You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, Ernest shouldn't like it because he's not that good at it. No, he'll admit that.
But I don't like it though. I don't like it.
No,
And this year, I
different.
hate it even more now.
Yeah, it's different. Just because you like a certain player or a certain team, fantasy is always different. We got to find some kind of punishment for the last place team. As of right now, that's
me and Sully,
Earnest right now.
Me and Sully are tied last.
Well, this is Sully's first time playing too, so
I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want excuses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're having a fun little time here. I'm playing airing it out in the Berg. I believe that is John Bunner's team. So
Earnest and a Genius Champion this week.
The Genius Champion.
No loss for me.
Yeah, so we're having a fun little time getting to play on that level. Now we're talking about fantasy football stardom, situm. My stardom this week, before the show I looked on Yahoo, and this person is only signed by 8%. He got 8% ownership in Yahoo. Darius Slayton, he's the new wide receiver 1 for the Giants. We saw last year when Malik Neighbors went down, he scored a couple of games while Malik Neighbors was out, at least 19 points in those 2 games. I'm taking Darius Slayton as my stardom this week. You also need to sign him if you haven't. And any player on the Bengals, don't start them right now. Honestly, it's, even Jamar Chase, the first draft pick on everybody's fantasy draft, just is not doing anything with Browning as a quarterback. He didn't do anything week 1 either with Burrow. So sit your Bengals. Any insight on fantasy, Pat?
I would start George Pickens. I think he's going to have another big game. I think, like I said, he likes having the spotlight, and Dak likes throwing it to him. So I think he'll actually have a pretty big game.
I like that.
Right, that's a good one.
Me? So my start.
You.
Well, my pattern will continue here.
Okay.
Play anybody that plays the Cowboys. So I'm starting Justin Fields this week. Against the Cowboys.
I like it.
And my sit-em is going to be the Ravens defense because they're just god awful.
All right, I got my new notebook here, Mike, and I showed you that before. It says genius ideas you just wouldn't understand. Somebody got this for me, and I think it's very appropriate. So I'm going to dig into this real quick. Josh Allen at home versus the Pats. The Pats aren't very good. They're going to give up a whole bunch of points. Can I have 2 stardoms, Mike?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for
Derrick
it.
Henry's going to – I don't want to – if
So
I could get
fumble again?
200 yards, maybe a fumble, but he's still going to go for 200. I'm going to take I would start Derrick Henry. And Mike stole my thunder. You can't start Chase. He's fighting on the sidelines. They can't find a way to get him the ball. That whole thing, you go into the season, and Chase was arguably number 1, right? Number 1 picks in a lot of – and now you're like, look, you're left – you have him, you have Neighbors, and you have Hill, and you're out of the league. I mean,
In his case, combination of things. It's not just the quarterbacks; it's also the offensive line. It's just terrible.
Whole thing.
So.
Yeah. Last time I took a wide receiver first pick in my draft was Antonio Brown. You know how that worked out?
Yeah.
It was like on the decline with the Steelers.
Yeah, on house arrest.
Oh, is this on a Steeler? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore with the wide receivers. So sit all the Bengals. And now we're going to start talking about some college football. We'd love to have Pat to talk about college.
Yeah, and I thought of Pat last week, and I watched that game, and I was like, I wish Pat was around this week because he would have went all in and called this thing. Go for it. Talk about Clemson.
Oh my God! I mean, it's Dabo's stubbornness that he just will not make an adjustment here. Forget the the portal stuff. The quarterback, Klubnik, clearly doesn't have it.
I agree.
But he will not make it. Just like with DJ, I call him DJ Ukulele. Before him, he has this. It's a great quality in general in people is to have loyalty and confidence and wanting guys to succeed. That does not work in college football. This guy clearly does not have it. His confidence is shot. They've got to have another 4 or 5 star quarterback on that roster. They're Clemson. Why are they not trying to play somebody else to get some more juice in there? They have a lot of talent this year, but they're going to waste it. And here we go to the Pop-Tart Bowl. If we do actually have a
bowl game in the first place. Let me ask you this, Pat. So, is he on the hot seat this year, or do you get another year?
Now, I think Dabo, because he won 2 national championships, has probably more rope than we think. And plus, I think he has a $60 million buyout. Yep. So he's got more rope than we think. But if I was the trustees or whoever, I'd be like, make an adjustment. Bring more portal guys in. Now, Klubnik's a senior, thank God, so we're going to get rid of him no matter what. But you've got to be he did this before. Kelly Bryant was our quarterback. He was a good quarterback, but he wasn't Deshaun Watson, and he switched to Deshaun Watson, and we won the national championship.
There you go.
I'm like, just figure we're not doing that this year, but bring in whoever. Hopefully the kid's a sophomore or junior, and then you can see what he can do this year and bring him in next year. Give him some reps. We're not doing anything. There's not. the thing I can't stand about that was like, we still have everything in front of us. No, we don't. There's nothing in front of you.
It's all behind.
You're going to be lucky to beat UNC this week. So just try and figure out who can play at this point that you can insert next year. And that's what a good college coach would do. But I think Dabo is going to stick with this kid because he's trying to get him to perform better so that he gets better draft pick. That's how much he's loyal to Klubnik. He doesn't want to ruin him by sitting him and then have him be drafted 5th or 6th round when he was supposed to be in the 1st round. And that's not going to happen now. But that has nothing to do with Clemson. Clemson needs to figure out who they have and what they can do for next year. And playing Cade Klubnik right now ain't going to do anything.
This year's Clemson's last year's Florida State Seminoles. So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fall off a cliff.
Well, speaking of the Seminoles, Virginia upset number 8 Florida
That's
State.
a reminder, buddy.
Oh, here we go.
46-38 in double overtime, and the ACC fined Virginia $50,000 for all the fans storming
Did you
on
see
the
that?
field. That was
I
like
forgot that rule was in there.
No, but forget the fact that the rules in there. Did you see how they did that? It was like
What?
so quick.
Oh, it was
Well,
immediate.
wait,
that
how
was the
long-
biggest storming I've seen.
Etiquette-wise, what's the rule on storming the field? Like, how long are you supposed to wait?
Well, I mean,
what was that? They
there was a
stormed the
player-
field one time at USC, and the band was
There was a
like
receiver at
like
Utah
there was a
got-
wide receiver running through the band. What was that game years ago?
That was U.S. That was the
Yeah.
was it California against Stanford, right?
Stanford.
Yeah. I think you should get that as home field advantage. You should be able to storm the field in the last minute.
Yeah, that game.
That's what you should do.
That game, as a Knowles fan, that game worried me because like. Obviously, you're looking ahead to the game this week. It's Miami, my favorite rivalry of all time, for the record. But you're playing on a Friday night, okay, on the road against a tough conference opponent. Those are that is the quintessential trap game, and they fell into it.
Yeah. Ernest and I were just talking last week about those two teams possibly going into this
It
week's
hurt
battle
the
undefeated.
stock. Yeah,
Oof.
that game. Okay, so that would a game, and the network hates it. They're probably ripping their hair.
Of course
out 'cause
they
that
are.
thing would have been that probably double the viewership.
Game day is there this week as a result.
Yeah,
Game-
and you go in 2 undefeated teams in Florida. Where is that at? That's up in
it's Tallahassee. No,
Tallahassee.
if Florida State won that game, they're in the top 5 in the rankings.
Oh, I understand.
So
that,
there you
yeah.
go. Now you lose that now.
You do, yeah, I understand that too. So well, it's still going to be a great game, but it doesn't carry the same weight. Now, home field advantage for this thing, I think the Seminoles being at home, coming off of that thing, is going to beat Miami.
I hope so.
That's my call.
Wow, who do you think's winning that game, Pat?
I just think, like I said, I thought the 3 best teams that I saw were Georgia, Florida State, and Miami. Now, 2 of them have lost. So I'm going to stick with Miami until they lose.
So
I like it.
the homer reason to say Florida State, obviously, but Miami's impressive, and where they're impressed to me is in the trenches. The O-line and the defensive line it's been fantastic. 5 weeks in rather. So, like, I'll say Florida State because it's my team, but really, if I'm being logically, it's going to be Miami.
Yeah, Pat mentioned Georgia, and shout out to Chauncey Bowens, the Benjamin graduate. I watched that game, and I actually had the pleasure of coaching with his dad and him. And he scored 1 touchdown, at least a touchdown, and had some very big runs. So shout out to him, the Benjamin kid. He actually, I could see him being the starter there very soon.
The Bama Georgia game,
the
you mean?
starter had a big fumble that cost them, and it was a big deal. And then looking forward to seeing more from Chauncey. Yeah.
By the way, though, that Bama win for Florida State looks good now because Bama is running hot since then. So
Yeah, let's run down the AP top 10. Ohio State, number 1. Oregon, 2. Miami's 3. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Penn State, Indiana, Texas, and Alabama in the top 10 right now. I think that could definitely change this week if the Hurricanes do beat the Seminoles. I think they can go to the 1 or 2 spot.
I'm excited about Ole Miss. I think that he has something. Kiffin got something going there. And what an exciting time to be. I think one of your nieces goes to that school, right? What a great time to be there, man. They're firing on all cylinders. And that guy's I like Nick Sirianni. He's out there. Kiffin, he's out there. Like he did some drama he's a wild man, and he's on social media and says all this off the wall stuff. I love it. He has them excited. What a great job by him in Ole Miss.
The beautiful thing about the AP right now, looking to the forecast 5 weeks in, is like there are no runaways. Once again, there are no runaways. Ohio State is there by default. They're the national champions, so by default they're there. But they haven't been impressive week to week either. So there's a group of teams looking at it like, okay, Miami's really good, but they can lose this week. This is trying to be one of the best years I think I've watched in quite a while.
It has. We can't wait for that game this weekend. We are going to talk about that next weekend. Hurricanes at Seminoles in Tallahassee. Now let's talk about the new offer that Hard Rock Bet has. Right now, it's an offer for new Florida users. If you make a first deposit of at least $10 and place a cash wager of $5 or more, if your first bet wins, you're going to receive $150 in bonus bets, and those are credited as 6 separate $25 bonus bets, and they expire 7 days after they're first issued. For more information, you could always go to our website, pbkennelclub.com/Hard Rock Bet. If you have a phone right now and you're looking at that QR code, go ahead, scan it, sign up, start making your picks now, and get that great offer. And that is offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. And now we're going to talk about some baseball, because now we're into the MLB playoffs.
A lot of heartbreak here, except for Pat.
So I was worried about Earnest over the weekend. No, not yet. But I was worried about Earnest because, there was a big win from the Giants. That was great. But Florida State lost, and then the Mets didn't make the playoffs.
I did an episode of my podcast called I Love Sports, but Sport Doesn't Love Me.
Yeah.
So I remember we were talking like early on in the podcast about the Mets and they're on fire and how great they are. And then slowly we did this thing where we're like nosedive and then just full crash and burn.
Yep.
Earnest.
Noah, what did I say in May?
How
But Noah, what did I say to you in May? I said on the show too also. Great start. I'm not sure if that pitching staff could hold up. Now, I didn't think they would miss the playoffs entirely. I thought they'd at least be a wild card team.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, look, they deserve to miss the playoffs. They're terrible.
Yeah, is that that's one of the larger meltdowns in sports history? That's pretty much up there, yeah.
And here's the worst part. On Sunday, they get the help they needed. The Reds needed to lose. The Reds lost to the Brewers, who benched all their starters, and they still lost to the Marlins.
Was that game at Miami?
Yes.
Did you go?
No.
How do you not go? Okay, so everything's online. You could probably call somebody and maybe get that taken care of.
I like money.
Right, okay. Yeah. But to go to Miami, who's a laughing stock of baseball, basically.
Not really. They got red hot since June.
This year,
okay, I laugh. But they're you got to go down there and you have to get that win. They got swept. Is that what happened?
No, 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. They won on Saturday.
That's tough. Come on, man. You have to close this thing out. Now, where do the Mets go from this? I don't know. We don't have time to talk about that.
Yeah,
you're on vacation now, so you could talk about that before next year, but what a mess.
Well, you have that. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Pete Alonso wants out. He's informed reporters that he's going to opt out of his contract.
But I don't think he wants out. He just opt out of his contract.
Yeah, he opts out.
He wants out.
Yeah, because he wants more.
Well, if you opt
years.
out, you want out.
He wants more years.
Wait, so an option to opt out or in?
No, he wants to be a Met. He just wants to be paid as such, like last year. So the deal he signed back in March was just a 1 year, prove it one more time deal. But now I don't know if he want to look. He was still solid this year though, but he's 32 years old. I don't know if you want to pay that guy 5-6 years, and then on the back end of the deal that you're not getting production, and you still have that on the books. I just don't see that's viable. But having said that, he is the heart and soul of the team though. Him and Lindor.
Yep. Our producer, Jake, who's a big Cleveland Guardians fan, forcibly made me put this on the outline. He said, if you don't put this on the outline, then I'm leaving. The Cleveland Guardians recently completed a historic comeback in the 2025 season.
Congratulations.
They overcame
We were making fun of them for a while. Yeah, that's wild.
That was crazy. 15.5 games to win the American League Central Division title. They had a tough loss yesterday, but they were going against one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. But shout out to the Cleveland Guardians. That was an amazing feat. Pat, how are we feeling so far? We just got into the MLB playoffs. How are we feeling about your Phils?
Well, I mean, they're going to have to play probably the Dodgers, I think, is the way it's going to if the Dodgers go on and beat the Reds, which they probably will, I think the Phillies get the Dodgers. That's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough one. We'll see. I mean, their bullpen still stinks, and they don't clutch hits, so that's the key. They're going to have to get starting pitching, like all these teams do. They're going to have to get starters going into the 7th or 8th inning and hope they have enough of a lead at that point that they can win. But the Dodgers are built for this. I mean, they won the World Series last year. Ohtani is unbelievable. I mean, the dude is. Like I said, if he spoke English, he'd be the most popular player in sports. That home run he hit, the leadoff home run, that was like a vapor trail. Like you couldn't even see it. Yeah. And the guy pitches like he's an unbelievable pitcher. So I think it's just going to be tough for them. But you get into these things, and like the Mets did last year, if you get on a little bit of heater, anything can happen. But the Dodgers are going to be tough.
Well, I'm rooting for the Mariners win the whole thing. So, because I mean, look, I think that potential Phillies Dodgers series in NLDS will be a great series. I'll be hate watching because I hate both teams. But as a baseball fan, that'd be a phenomenal series, though.
Well, I have a problem with all this real quick. Okay, so maybe I should be up to speed on this thing. And I'm not a big baseball guy, but I follow the Yankees, especially since I have $12,000 bet riding on this thing. Who the hell changed it to a 3-game series with all these people being – I don't know if you could determine the best team. Now the Yankees are facing elimination tonight. Correct. Okay, they had bases loaded last night, couldn't get a run through, and now you're facing elimination. You cannot determine a better team in best 2 out of 3. I'm just not here for it. So now I'm being offered $43 for my potential $12,000. And I'm getting people to tell me to cash that thing out and take the 43. You know what?
No.
We're letting it ride tonight. All 43 is on the line. In a must-win game for the Yankees, they got to have this one. It's $12,000 to the good.
The American League is wide open, man. It's wide open still, so they can still.
I got to get this one. It'll be a dramatic story, but I'm holding. I'm risking all 43. I'm not cashing out.
My hope was that on this show live we could cash out for him, but that was like $90-something. I think it went up to like $113.
Yeah, we were high, and the Eagles are 4-0, and the Eagles are looking good. I need the Yankees just to not let it go. So I don't know. And I tried to do math real quick. And is there a way to hedge this thing? Can I put like $3,000 the other way? And it didn't make any sense. No. So we're just gonna let the $43 ride.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that next week on the show. Speaking of the Mariners, who Ernest wants to win it all, Cal Raleigh, 60 home runs. What an accomplishment for him, especially from a catcher. Do you ever remember another performance like that from a catcher, Pat?
Johnny Bench was pretty good, but not with that kind of home run prowess. That guy's on. He's just been on a roll all year, and I saw him. I went to one Phillies game this year, and there was against Seattle, and I saw him in that game, and I don't think he did much in that particular game, but he's a big dude. So if he can stay healthy, maybe he keeps it going for a little bit longer.
The amazing thing about Raleigh, too, is that he's not just a catcher. He's actually one of, if not the best catcher in the American League. So he's doing on both sides of the diamond. So that's what's impressive for me. So kudos to him.
Yeah, it's hard to get somebody in that spot. And catcher's usually the guy, you get him the bat 250 and hit, 12 home runs, 15 home runs, you're great. But when you get production like that out of a catcher, he's on a rookie contract, right?
Yeah, right? Yeah, I think he is.
I think he is.
He's going to cash in. He's going to cash in big.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, now it's time to move on to our favorite portion of the show called Quick Picks.
Make them quick.
Make it quick.
Yeah, we always look forward to this portion of the show where we run through
us off
each and every game of the week, and we're going to start off with our Thursday night game. San Fran at LA Rams. Rams favored by 6.
Home Rams, and too many injuries for San Fran, so I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, San Fran's banged up. Rams second best team in the conference. Give me the Rams.
I'll take the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams. Now moving on to Sunday morning's game. Minnesota at Cleveland. Minnesota favored by 3.5.
Thinking Minnesota has to have a bounce back here. Cleveland's not horrendous. New quarterback in there. That's usually death for whoever the first team is they're playing. But I'm taking Minnesota.
I'm sorry, this one game sucks, and Minnesota's already settled into Ireland, so give me Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota's on a European vacation right now. I'm going to take Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm taking Cleveland also. Houston at Baltimore. Houston is favored by 1.5.
Baltimore, big injuries, but at home, and they really have to win this game. Can't go 1-4, so I'm taking Baltimore.
Big stay away, bet the under for anything. Well, I'll take the Ravens just because.
You're wrong. Baltimore big, and they're on the back of Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Baltimore's winning this one. Now moving on to Miami at Carolina. Miami goes in favored by 1.
Boy, what a stink bowl this one is. But I'm going to take Miami just because I think they have a little bit more talent than Carolina.
Dolphins same receivers for one more week, so give me Dolphins.
Yeah, Miami's a struggle bus. I'm taking Carolina.
I'm taking Miami on the road. Now, Las Vegas at Indianapolis. Indy favored by 6.5.
One of the most disappointing teams versus one of the shockingly good teams this year. So I'm going to take Indianapolis, but Vegas has got to get something going here. This season's going to be over quick, but I'm taking Indy.
Even in the loss, Indy's been impressive. Give me Indy winning the blowout.
Indy should have won this. We didn't talk about the guy fumbling the ball going into the end zone.
Yeah.
I'm taking Indy here.
Yep.
Yeah, this might be my last week picking the Raiders for a big upset on the road. Again, Indy's favored by 6.5. Now we go to Giants at New Orleans Saints. Saints favored by 2.
Saints, I think, are going to win a game at some point. This might be it, but I'm not picking them. I'm taking the Giants.
I'm a homer. Go Giants.
Yeah, I'm taking New Orleans in my survivor pool on this one. I got New Orleans to get their first win.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants on the road here. Dallas at the Jets. Dallas favored by 2.5.
I'm taking the Jets at home. I just don't believe in Dallas at all. I think Pickens is going to have a good game, and Dak is playing well this year, but I just don't believe in them at all.
This is a game that typically they will lose. The Cowboys will lose, but I'll pick them anyway.
Yeah, Dallas has no defense. I'm going with the Jets.
I'm taking Dallas on the road. Denver at Philly. Philly favored by 4.
This one scares me a little bit if I'm the Eagles, but I'm not picking against them, so I'm taking the Eagles.
Eagles are due for a big game, a big 6-minute game. Give me the Eagles in a blowout.
Yeah, I'm scared less this week for sure after what happened last week. I'm going to take Philly at home.
Yep, Philly big at home. Tennessee at Arizona. Arizona favored by 7.5.
Another stinky game. Tennessee will not lose every game, and this would be a good one for them to win, but I'm not picking them. I'm taking Arizona.
I'll take Zona, but Tennessee in the points here.
Yeah, Toddler Murray in Arizona pulls another one out.
Yep, taking Arizona at home. Tampa Bay at Seattle. Seattle favored by 3.5.
I'm going with Tampa Bay here just for the Baker Mayfield effect. Seattle's a better team than I thought they were going to be, but I'm just going Tampa and just on a hunch with Baker.
Seattle is a weird team, man.
Frisky?
Very frisky. Give me Seattle win to cover 12th man.
Yeah, I'm biased against Baker Mayfield in a really, really, really bad way. I'm going with Seattle.
Yeah, I'm taking Tampa Bay on the road. Detroit is going to Cincy favored by 10.
Yeah, this should have been a really good game. It's not going to be. I'm taking Detroit.
Brown might get murdered this game. The line with the Lions. Give me the Lions win the
Yeah,
blowout.
Detroit's offense and defensive line controls the ball, and they win. I take Detroit.
Yeah, big one from Detroit here. Washington at the Chargers. Chargers favored by 3.
Yeah, I like the Chargers at home. Bounce back game after that horrendous game against the Giants. I think they win.
Same here. Chargers to bounce back.
Yeah, Washington's floundering right now. I'm going to go with the Chargers.
We're all agreeing with the Chargers here. Now, New England at Buffalo. Buffalo favored by 7.5.
Yeah, New England's not a bad team. I like Vrabel and going for it a lot on 4th down, but Buffalo's too good at home.
Bills win, but Patriots in a frisky Sunday night game. On the points. Bills win, passing the points.
Josh Allen, MVP, wins.
Yeah, taking Buffalo at home. And now the Monday night game. Kansas City at Jacksonville. Kansas City favored by 3.5.
What a statement game this would be for Jacksonville, but they're not going to get it. I'm taking Kansas City.
Jags, prove it to me. Are you a good team? Prove it to me this week. I got the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs in a close one.
Chiefs on the road, and that was Quick Picks.
That was really
Made it
quick
quick,
that
too.
time, yeah.
On PBKC Picks. And now we're going to talk about our sports bets of the week. I got one for the Thursday night game. I'm taking Rams to win, Kyron Williams at TD, Stafford over 239.5 yards throwing, McCaffrey over 58.5 rushing yards. The $25 there will win you $156. Do you have any sports bets, Pat?
I'll tell you, I don't know what the line is for Clemson UNC. It should be 20-something. Clemson has to win this game. They've been off for this week. Dabo's got to come up with something. I got to believe they're going to beat UNC pretty handily, but if they don't, this is really going to be a disaster of a season. So I got to take Clemson in this one.
14 parlay. Here we go. Rams minus 6.5, Vikings minus 3.5, Colts minus 6.5, Giants plus 2. Bet 100, make $1,200.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm not doing any bet. I have so much riding on this game tonight. I'm not doing anything. I'm just locked in onto today's bet. My $43 on the line.
I'm going to watch that game just so I can text you about it. You're probably going to block me, but still. Now let's talk
It's
about
already done.
yeah, what's going on here at PBKC. We just got into October. Today's October. It's crazy that we're talking about that already.
Yeah.
We got October high hand. Wicked winnings are brewing in October. $15,000 cash giveaway this time is going to be on November 1st. And don't forget about those $100,000 high hand weekends with the progressive jackpot. It's
Spectacular.
awesome. It is absolutely amazing.
Spectacular.
One of the things we got to talk about, we're just like 2 weeks away, actually, is the card show. The card show is coming up real soon.
Now's your time to get your Jackson darts, Ernest. Now's the time
that's
to come
right.
in there and get
Good
all
point.
those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to be a big show right there, coming up October 12th, right here in the second floor poker room, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., free admission, free parking. You're going to see all the games on all of the sports
It'll be the most
TVs.
vendors we've ever had this time. We've actually
hands
added
down.
more, yeah.
That, and we got a great buffet over in the paddock with Feast and Football. So come to the card show and go to the buffet. The football Sundays is the best bet in town right there, starting at 11:30 all the way till January 4th. The buffet is free with a $25 or more bet. Place day of at PBKC with the Hard Rock Bet app. And now we got to talk about the shows. Our first show is coming up 2 days from now. That's the Reaction Band on Friday night. Motown Memories. They are absolutely fantastic. We've been looking forward to the show for a long time. Then you got the Rat Pack the 17th, and you got a Toby Keith tribute and Beer for My Horses on November 8th. And those are all dinner and a show, which means you get both of those for one small price.
Those are actually all better than Bad Bunny as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Well, let's talk about having Reaction Band at the Super Bowl then, possibly, because Noah doesn't like Bad Bunny. But no, I can't wait. Friday night is Reaction Band. Buy your tickets now at pbkennelclub.com. And what are we looking forward to this weekend, Pat?
October, best month of the year in sports, basketball, hockey, football, baseball. We didn't even talk about the Ryder Cup in the U.S. completely blowing it.
God.
But October is my favorite sports month.
I'm locked into the Florida State-Miami game. That favorite rivalry all the time, man. I like I said, if Florida State wins this game on Saturday, it absolves the Virginia loss.
Yeah, I'm looking for maybe an Eagles consistent game this week. I can't do what I've done the past 2 weeks. I feel like I was going to die the first week where a dramatic comeback, and the second week where we almost blow the game. I can't handle it anymore. I might have to give up sports at some point, but I'm looking forward to just
Too much.
Just play good football, go up by 10, and then answer every score. I can't do it anymore. I can't.
Yeah, just like Pat said, it's spooky season, my favorite time of the year. All the sports are in, those big college games this weekend. We can't wait for that. But we're going to see you next week right here on PBKC Picks. 1 week from now, 10 a.m. every Wednesday. Look for those clips later on all the social media, and have a great week. PBKC is your entertainment destination for poker, table games, OTV, Paddock live events, and exceptional eats. The Paddock restaurant is perfect for meetings, corporate functions, parties, fundraising, and more. Call 561-683-2222, extension 199, and book your next event today. Feast in Football is back in the Paddock. Get ready for touchdowns and tasty bites every football Sunday during the regular season. Enjoy a $25 all-you-can-eat buffet plus 1 draft beer, or get it free when you place a $25 or more live bet on the Hard Rock Bet app at PBKC. Featuring 140 HD TVs, 3 giant screens, and a full bar. Bring your crew, place your bets, and pile your plate high. This is how Sundays were meant to be.
Your Mets meltdown.